I'm a little nervous for this one. We got a true content creator in the building over here, man. Making me look bad. I think he's going to give me some tips when it comes to the marketing stuff right here. We got Aaron Bethke, baby, in the building with NexGen Exteriors. He's covering Minnesota. He's covering Wisconsin. For anybody out there, my friends are probably all watching from Eau Claire, right? Come on. I got some buddies with school out there. We got a great guy in here. He is a good leader, good value guy, content creator, a marketer, personal brander, sales expert, insurance expert. Let's go, my man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm new to this podcast stuff. I'm new to the social media, digital marketing, digital door knocking. I'm pretty new to all this, so I appreciate the opportunity here. Let's use this episode to improve the next ones I'm around.
I've been impressed. I didn't know that you actually just got into it. I just figured you've been doing this for a while, and then I just ran into you on Facebook or whatever. But you do a great job. It's funny, whenever I watch your stuff, one thing I notice is you show homeowners, customers quite a bit, which I love. But I'll see you at home shows or whatever it is, and you got the customers smiling, laughing. You tell me a little bit about that. Does that kind of go hand in hand with what you guys are all about with customer experience or what?
I've learned through my experience over the years that homeowner involvement is the solution. And any which way that you can generate that and try to make every experience with somebody, whether it's just a proposal, an insurance claim, or a friendship, to make the best out of every experience, man. And I got a nickname a long time ago, Aaron T.
Like that.
I might be swearing here, but once upon a time, his name was Mike Kelly with Certain Teed out here in Shakopee, Minnesota, and I was a Shingle Master Select at one point in time, and he gave me the name. And I like to make sure that people are having a good experience, man, and keeping them excited. Insurance claims can obviously be daunting at times, and especially for those of us that have never been through one, or a surgery on your home. That's like open heart surgery. We're taking and exposing everything you own in one day. It could probably be somewhat traumatic just to think about for some people. So yeah, I really try to focus on making sure people are having a good experience as much as I can, at least.
Yeah, I can see it. They're smiling. And so unless you're holding them hostage, man, they're smiling. So you're doing something right. So when you're looking at your business, and what's your split when you're looking at insurance versus residential? Are you guys pretty even? Do you lean a certain way?
No, we are open to all retail, commercial, residential. We have a very large commercial department here led by our guy, Andy Peters, several employees that support him in his estimations. We got a huge supplement department here that handles all of our insurance claims, invoicing, billing, what have you. And we entertain a lot of retail. I call it our home show tour. I think we did about 26 home shows.
Wow.
In local communities, schools, wherever you can put the booth up and get at it. You know what I mean? And not only do we do those for just the community, collaborating with those other people inside of them home shows has really elevated our presence. And when they get to meet us and get to see our character, we're not out here just trying to get a quick buck and install another roof. We're out here really for that lifetime customer engagement.
There's a couple of things I would pull from that. First thing, that's a lot of shows. So I want to go more into that. But I like what you said on the collaboration side with the other vendors. Sometimes I don't think you focus on that enough. I know I've seen you with the Hook agency gear. Me and my buddy Tim are hanging out at a conference and we're collaborating because we know we can help each other out too. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. If you can collaborate with somebody with the same customer and get a good friendship going there, that could be a good time referral source. Is there anybody you like to really connect? Is it HVAC? Is it other like anybody that you've known that's been like, hey, this is a great partnership for the both of us?
Man, huge shout out to Tim Brown.
Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead and Google Bright Ass Underlayment and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
The reality is, as we stay connected in anyone in any field, it isn't really targeted towards HVAC, siding, windows. We connect with the community, man.
Get people that like us being part, helping out.
The people in the community work for those outfits. So as long as we treat them relationships, they usually work for somebody that we can collab with. And I've been really trying to get more involved with collaboration and putting myself out there, getting to know other people, is just because, and eventually you get to a point where you plateau.
Oh yeah.
And without further education, without surrounding yourself with more success and better mentorship and asking better questions and just surrounding yourself with champions every day, I just feel like we could stay comfortable at being successful at that place that I was at. And so when I started really reaching out genuinely to people and creating relationships with them and following their suggestions, practicing them principles every day, man, the march has been victorious for us here at NexGen.
I'm happy for you, man. So what made you humble enough to understand that? I think sometimes as leaders, there's people in our career, sometimes we get in our own way, right? And it's one of those things where you got to stay humble. You got to stay humble. Otherwise, the world's going to humble you. Why was that ego almost not in your way in understanding that?
Man, when you truly fail at something and can accept that you had a huge part to play in that, I think that's where the leverage comes in the recovery. I've been in recovery my whole life, and I practice a lot of things, I would have to say, in my day-to-day life in order to learn from where I've been short in business, where I've been short in sales, where I've been short in genuine relationships. I've been my own self-employed business owner. I've had a huge outfit, had a lot of sales reps. I've done that already, and I wasn't successful, meaning I wasn't able to operate. And when you have to chew on that pill and fold up your company and start over, in the heat of that moment, you got your finger pointed. And being young in my mid-20s and not having good financial management, not having mentorship, and not having that collaboration of leaders surrounded by myself, or being humble enough to outsource a CRM to, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Just all of those things. You get stuck at pointing your finger at your production department, your marketing department, your sales reps,
Tough pills,
your sales manager.
Tough pill to swallow, though, man. And we've all been there, dude, right? It's one of those things where you see anybody's doing anything great. Hey, they might be on top now, they might be shining now, but you don't know how many times they've looked like an idiot, they embarrassed themselves, they got self-conscious about themselves, they failed. It's a buildup, and that's where you get all that wisdom, because wisdom's really all that matters, right? You can think you know everything, but wisdom is what it is, and you can only get that by those scars that you got from going through that shit, right? It's the only way.
And it's easy to compartmentalize some of them things. And when you talk about humility and just accepting that you were a part of the problem and doing something about that immediately, and then changing the directive on your march today, just living in the moment. Like Jake Bryden, he speaks a lot about being where your feet are, man, and I really latched onto that. It's like when you're living in the moment every day and you know that you're walking one foot in front of another in the right direction, you're out here doing the right thing because that's what you were employed to do, and it empowers you to be successful. There should be no bad day. You can have an off week maybe, but the reality is, just keep forging forward, man.
Grit, baby. As long as you keep showing up, it's going to pop eventually. The wall's going to go down. You're going to break through eventually. What did you learn about operations? Was there anything that was critical for you that you learned, or anything that kind of felt like you unlocked, kind of like the next level?
Yeah, you don't need more. You just need to handle what you got.
Oh, yeah.
And when you stay on target with that, I think that all of the more things start to show up when it's meant to be, rather than when you think you need them.
More people, more systems, more everything, basically. It's not always the...
There's a lot of bright, shiny objects out there in the industry, and obviously we love to try to keep up with the competitive image and the other companies' branding and their marketing and all of that stuff, but to be ruthless in just your own journey and what you have to offer and being where your feet are with that notion. You know what? We might not have all 100 trucks and big, huge company, but we provide you guys with what you need.
Is that like your vision ever, or what's your vision? Like, what do you care about?
I care about the people, man. And
so you don't need to blow up. You don't need 100 trucks. You're like, I just want to run business with good people that's helping out.
Yeah, we execute what we get. And through that, we continue to grow a little bit more, I think. And getting back to what I'm saying, it's just like you don't need all these extra things to be successful. You just need to perfect the system that you have. And once you perfect that, and you can take a look back and do some inventory and then move into something else, or entertaining another marketing opportunity or hiring people.
An initiative
That
at a
can be
time,
done.
right? Basically,
Right.
it's funny because I do implementations, right? So I'll be implementation of CRM, and all of a sudden they want another 3 tools implemented, and all of a sudden we got a new marketing manager, and I'm like, man, this is about to get real overwhelming real fast, right? And so
Yeah.
it's one of those things where hey, I love it because that's the way my brain works too, but at the same time, so let's slow it down. All right, why should we implement this, or why should we try this marketing strategy, and then value out which ones could be the most impactful, and just do one at a time, right? We don't need to change the world overnight, right? Rome wasn't built in one day. Just chip away and just do it. Do you have anything to add on that kind of things? Because it gets messy otherwise.
At some point, you grow big enough where you have to learn what the word SOP even means. And it's important that let's talk about it. The way things used to be in this industry 15, 20 years ago are not the same today. And what hasn't changed is communication and customer relationships.
How long you been in this space again? How many years?
I got my first taste 1999.
Nice. So you got some wisdom for sure. That's 25 years.
Yeah. Even to the point of digital business now, when you be able to pull the pin out, there was some emotion behind that. It was a whole different feeling when they had to press hard because there's 3 copies. Nick, in today's age, a lot of that is glanced through, like all explaining the contract and all of this stuff. It's romance. It's just romance. What's a Stanley? Does anybody even know how to use a tape measure anymore because of the software?
Were you resilient to that stuff at all? To like the online advertising or like the CRMs and stuff like that? Were you anti that at all, or was there resistance as like you changed, or were you on board?
I'm always about the solution, but when you're used to carrying around a 50-pound file box,
you didn't want to give it up.
Folders the difference is when you have those, you remember those people. You touch them every day. Like when you pull that file up, I just had one of our employees help me out here. For example, like all these are insurance loss statements collected in just the last 7 days in Wisconsin. And I'm like, I need to get to know these people in the CRM. I get it. It's all in there, but I need to take a look at these people every day. I need to be reminded of what's ahead of me. I need to make notes on the folder.
Hey, we got others on your CRM. We'll put a spot in there where you can upload their picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm all about using a CRM. It does make things quick, and it helps the company as a whole. Obviously, at the volume we do, there's no other way to operate.
Yeah.
We couldn't have enough steel file cabinet space in our offices to keep up with it all.
But it pisses you off sometimes, or you don't
it.
enjoy it. It's a necessity, basically.
I appreciate AccuLinks. It is a game changer for us, and especially in production. And accountability is crucial, right, Nick?
100%. That is interesting, though, man. What do you think's been like the biggest change that you've seen, I guess, over that time span? Or maybe something that you were able to take advantage of that you felt like, as you saw it change, you're like, oh, this could be good. I mean, maybe even the content stuff, but...
I can tell you, as far as like a CRM to do business, has been a blessing. I can do business and not even meet.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And that happens a lot where people will reach out and we do a digital assessment based on location, previous claims filed, previous jobs built. I can give a fair and reasonable suggestion at what they should do as far as an insurance claim.
Yeah.
And then obviously just send me your insurance adjuster information or date and time they're going to be there, and I'll show up with my best self on. And we've moved into a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Where people obviously do their homework. They check out that we got
amazing
a gazillion 5-star Google reviews.
Real quick, actually, for anybody out there out in Eau Claire, because I grew up in Wisconsin. How can they reach you if they got some damage out there?
Sure. You can look us up, www.nexgentoday.com, Facebook. We're all over the place. Or you can check me out. You can look us up. We got a TikTok, NexGen Exteriors. I've got one, Aaron T Bethke. But Google's the way now.
Why did you start creating content then? Because you said you weren't a content guy. Here I am. I find you on Facebook. I think you're a content guy. You're telling me you're not a content guy. Why did you start doing it?
I wanted to do a dance with my daughter on TikTok.
No way.
I seen her doing it with my mom. And I've been known to have a few moves in my time.
I've seen them now.
And that was the hope and dream. I wanted to be able to dance with my daughter on TikTok. We're still going after that goal. But the reality is that's what I got engaged with TikTok. And then I didn't really have a Facebook up until a couple years ago. I think I used it for Marketplace or something. But man, it motivated me. I started to see who I was behind the camera. And I've been my worst critic for a very long time. And when you put yourself out there on video and on camera and you can inspect your own personal mannerisms and stuff that you do wrong and what looks funny, I really feel like that's elevated my approach up your sidewalk and to your door and just how to smile at you and how to shake your hand and how to bring energy into the situation. And when I started,
dude, I think I could go back and watch. I never watch mine. I can't stand watching mine, but I gotta watch my film too.
Yeah. If you haven't noticed, I don't talk behind my stuff yet. I haven't maybe gotten to that point. I create a bunch of music videos. But a bunch of music reels.
Oh, yeah. Entertaining, right?
And my stuff is actually done in the moment. I don't know what most people are used to, but if I'm going out, if you looked on my TikTok from last year, from June 12th to the end, that stuff is actually made in the moment before I even
What's
leave
your
the
handle
property.
at so people can search you out again?
It's at Aaron T Bethke, AARONTEE, Bethke, BETHKE. I just do that to motivate myself. The road out here door to door is real. It can be lonely. And when I create my own content and I'm sitting there in my Jeep and I'm like, oh, Nick, I'm going to put these 30 pictures together because I got to put it in AccuLinks anyway. That makes people file.
Good job though, dude, man. You do a great job with this stuff.
You just put that stuff together and put it out there, and it not only motivates the city, but it has, I've found, to motivate my team.
So,
and shout out to Romans Roofing. Elijah, you are absolute, what is the word? I can't find the word, but he is a cultivator of getting people involved.
Really?
Like he gets, his whole team is behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the community gets to see the culture on camera. They don't just hear about it from one guy when they walk up to the door and they're like, yeah, Roman's Roofing, we're family oriented. Like they've already seen Roman's Roofing's whole family on
everywhere.
Facebook. And that to me is what I really like to see is guys out there having fun. And like Dimitri says, bring purpose to your content. Otherwise it's purposeless. But I used to be like, I have no purpose behind mine. It's just a bunch of videos of jobs that we're doing and the situations out in the field. But
right?
It motivates.
Just be you.
Right? It just motivates me. And if it motivates me, I hope it's contagious onto the rest of our team, man. And
we got him coming on the pod in a couple weeks, man. So I'll be getting to talk some shop with him. And I told him I'd fly out to Indiana. I got to go out there sometime.
Yeah.
So you mentioned door to door. I heard you say a little door to door, right? And so your voice changed a little bit. You got a little excited. You got in like the game mode, it looked like there. You know, what's it like out there not only surviving in door to door, but thriving? You know, me, I never did door to door, but I did the calling, right? So I was working for a software company. I moved from San Francisco to here, Colorado, and I'm making 150 cold calls a day. So I'm smiling and dialing. It is a grind out there, man. Tell me about the grind and how do you win in that grind?
Did you actually use the Kohl's directory book?
The Kohl's directory book? I know, but I do love Kohl's though. I
did it a little myself. Hand dialing. Real phones.
I was on an automated dialer, bro. Hang up, auto dial.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as door to door goes, that's all I've done. Door to door sales as far as home improvements go. I've been fortunate to run some leads, 10, 12, 2, 5, and 7. I'm open, you know what I mean? But the reality is starting from canvassing, the setting the gaps, just being out there, segueing through neighborhoods, setting up appointments, you know, how to tackle the storm. It isn't by signing people up one at a time. It's about setting 10 up at once and then going back to them all because they're going to wait. Everybody waits for me to come back. So if I go out there day one of a storm and I skip all the contracts, I do skip some contracts. And I set all these people up for tomorrow, right? And I create buzz in the area. My signs are in the yard. They're waiting for me to return. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing. And if I spread that out, that's the only way to do 50 deals in one day or in 1 month. You know what I mean? And so going door to door, man, you got to have some thick skin. And
you probably keep your energy pretty good, where if you had a bad experience or a bad door, it doesn't bother you too long. Is that true?
I've learned, like, I played a lot of hockey in my life. And so we only went out in shifts. And depending on if you're on the first or the third shift, there was a time limit amount that the coach knew you could be 100% on that shift. And he would monitor when you fell and the things. Maybe he knew when your skates weren't sharpened by the right person. You know what I mean? He could pick them things out. And so when it comes to the door, you got to put in a shift.
Yeah.
You got to commit.
Yeah, that's a good
And
way.
you got to know that if you take a turn or you take a turn from, or you get a bad shot from a homeowner, it's just a part of the game. And if you get a lot of bad shots and somebody succeeds with an objection you couldn't overcome, you need to step out of that. Let that resonate, do some inventory, recenter yourself, and know that wasn't the customer for you. And so when you can really reset yourself and stop going to the next door with the last energy, the energy from the last relationship, you're for surely going to be more successful. It's just dating. If you bring in the bad relationship into the new one, that ain't going to land too well. It's the same out here going door to door. And some guys will go out there and hit door after door. Some guys will work during the day when
no one's there, and they'll be like, they'll be surprised of like why they didn't get anything.
Yeah, and all of a sudden 4 o'clock rolls around and they're exhausted.
Oh my God.
And it's mad. And honestly, when 4 o'clock comes around, we don't walk out of the room like the Green Bay Packers and start throwing touchdowns. We go out there and we throw the ball around a little bit. We drop a few. We get right with the coach. We get right with the team. We get right with the campaign, and we execute. And so when you go out door to door and you get the first 10 or 20 no's, that's just you. That's just the warm up.
Oh, yeah.
So then you go back to after you get a couple deals and you realize that you fell short with those first 10 no's. You go back and see them one more time before you go home.
I mean,
Because now you got 5 blue signs right on their street and you're like, I don't know. I could play some feel, felt, found real quick for you folks, but I know that you may have started off on the wrong foot. If you look down the street here a little bit, there's a few people that felt like I could provide them a good solution and a great experience. How about tomorrow at 2?
I could see you close and me smiling and being all happy about it too, dude. Like, I feel like you just got that little charm to you. I love it. All right, Packers though, real quick, and then I got a question for you where I'm gonna make you the sales coach. Who's your favorite Packer of all time?
Oh, shit. Wasn't his name Reggie White?
Reggie White, dude. Great pick. Great pick. So mine's Favre. So I'm just on the other side of the ball from you. It hurts me a little bit to watch this Netflix stuff. I'm not going to put it on, but Favre was always my guy. But
yeah, I don't know nothing about him. I don't follow sports. I watch it. I watch some games.
I see basketball games and shit, though, don't you? Seems like you get around.
100%. And that experience in itself has changed a lot of things for me. Just being able to have my feet on the wood floor and being there with important people in my life to share them experiences together. Yeah. Shout out to ABC Supply, Jim Scrow. Happy birthday, my friend, inviting us on these experiences. But yeah, I love the Timberwolves.
Man, there too, man. Anthony Edwards, he's legit, so you'll be back.
Yep.
So what about this? All right, let's say we talked about the mindset stuff, not letting it resonate for too long. Let's say I'm a stud. And now all of a sudden I am in a slump. And attitude's off, energy's off, pitch is off. How do I shake it off, right? Is that what they say, shake it off?
Yeah, I'd say come see me in my office because it's not about what you're doing out there. It's probably what you're not doing at home.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of us get stuck. And my mom says the best, man. You can have an off day, but never a bad week. And usually the off day is something personal. Mm-hmm. And until we deal with some of that stuff, we can't really analyze what we're doing professionally until personally it's handled. And that was a hard lesson I had to accept, man. That if you're going through it, generally it's a you thing. And without, like I said, taking a break and taking a good look at your inventory, maybe it ain't meant to be that you're out there right now and you should be double backing on what you already have. And sometimes we can get lost in the chase and the hustle to get more. But if we just spent more time with the people that we already had, it would duplicate our success.
Yeah.
And I think a go-getter, like a real hustler, we can really get
messed up.
We can be our own worst critics.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because
you work too hard.
What happened? I did so well. I've been doing so well. And it's, hey man, you got to clean up what you got.
Yeah.
Because that's what really elevated your energy. You know, the chase.
And that's what people like is the energy. People buy the energy, right? Like they want that energy. They're buying that experience. When you show up and you're all happy, you're jumping up and down, you got the mood, you're making an experience, you're like, boom, approved, right? All right, let's go. Like, you're making their day.
Yeah, some people want it. Some people want to be a part of it. And so I also ask people that permission. I ask every customer permission whether they want to keep this quiet or not.
Yeah.
And I think that is when I ask somebody, want to keep this quiet? And I know my truck's in the driveway right now, but we do not need to make a mockery out of it. We don't need to put a sign in your yard. I don't need to suggest your name to any of your neighbors. I just want to make sure you're okay with that. And that asking them that question is really what's led into them being like, no, man, let's freaking do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then there are some that are just like, yes, I didn't want to do this because I don't want to be the first one on the block to file an insurance claim. That's what
but
just asking permission. Yeah.
It's almost just the fundamentals, man. Just being a good person. Just being a good person, man.
Yeah.
So what about insurance? What do you think about the insurance world and the future of insurance?
I don't think about it. I'm preparing for it, though. The problem with that is I've been doing that for 15, 20. It's always been changing.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been a guy that's traveled outside of your home market. Like, this is no surprise for me. I've dealt with policies in Texas, Florida, Iowa, Colorado. These policies have been around for a long time.
Are they easier in Texas then to get approved, or?
It's not about things getting approved.
Yeah.
If you have a claim, it's going to be approved. If you don't have a claim that has the right criteria, you shouldn't even entertain the idea of filing it. And the idea of this is a hot point for me, Nick, because I could care less what's going on with insurance policy changes. Mm-hmm. I'm more concerned about what homeowners need to prepare for with what type of policy they have. And people purchase policies and they're the way they are. It's because generally they can afford, if something were to happen to it, if the insurance company awards them the replacement of a roof, whether actual cash value or not, they have the money to repair. Mm-hmm. That was their choice to have that policy.
So you're saying they don't know the difference between ACV, RCV, and they got the bad plan, and also when something happens, now they're not covered and they didn't know.
I think I don't really have a bad plan. So it's really a matter of, if you're driving around a brand new vehicle, right, and you crash it, right, and you knew that you had general liability, that means you had the money to fix it if something were to happen to it, right? So if nobody's really surprised by these things. It just, I've got people with ACV policies that are jumping through the ceiling, right? Because they're getting something for their roof, or rather than nothing. So it's not like it's changed there. They're still getting an insurance award for their claim based on what they chose for their policy. Mm-hmm. As far as deductibles are 1% and 2% or $1,000 or $2,000. They've been that way for years. Actual cash value has been around for years.
So if you guys have damage, it's good. You feel like it's in a good spot and it's going to get approved. So
yeah, we don't ever suggest people moving forward with filing a claim without meeting the parameters in which our experience. Let's say NexGen Exteriors has been doing State Farm claims for 18 years. We got a pretty solid experience on what the criteria is and how to segue through that claim. So if you don't have a minimum of 12 hits in a State Farm test square, then you know what? We need to have another conversation about what it's going to take to maybe get it there. But if it has legitimate damage, why would you not take? Why would you not file? That. So, not like I can talk about policy legally either. What I mean? But I can talk policy with anybody as much as I want. I just can't make suggestions on it.
So, if Aaron was going to put the best roofing system together, his favorite, best looking, coolest, most durable, what's your shingle? What you going with? What color? What's that vibe?
I don't have one.
You don't have one, bro? You don't have a favorite shingle?
Yeah, I do. It's this GAF Solar.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, solar shingles are the way.
So have you guys installed any of those?
On top. Oh, yeah, a whole bunch. Yeah? I love, especially with the fortified roofing system or with the AS2 Class 4s. That's your forever roof.
Oh, yeah. What color?
I love Cedar Falls for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Appalachian Sky is a big hit for me, too. Some of the newer ones, but Mission Brown, has always been my go-to for almost a lot of houses. Let's put it to you that
Well,
way.
it's funny. So I for 6 years I had this commercial lead gen company, right? And so we were just automating the prospecting for contractors. And I never really got into the shingles, the material. And then now with my company now, I'm setting up a lot of estimates, material, or supplier sync, stuff like that. And now I feel like I know everything about all these different shingles colors. It's hilarious. Warranties.
The industry is always morphing.
Oh, yeah.
There is always something, the latest and greatest hip and slick cool program to be in. Proudly, when I found myself here at NexGen Exteriors, I found myself at a company that had the greatest thing you could offer, and that's warranty. And our position with GAF as a 3-star President's Club member, that's a big deal, man.
It's got
It's
great
a super
branding
big-
too, to be honest. It's like the website looks great, everything.
Oh, thanks. Shout out to Amanda, our creative marketing director. She is amazing.
Yeah, I like it. I like that banner on the top too. The red banner with the call to action.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Hey, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Before we go, though, dude, I always do last words of wisdom. So it could be a quote, it could be life advice, it could be a book to read, whatever it might be. Feel free to leave our viewers with the last words of wisdom.
The last words of wisdom, man. If you're in the door-to-door game, the life that we live, it's a purpose-driven door, man. And if you chose to be in the career path, be in your purpose, man. Be purpose-driven. Be where your feet are every day. Make sure that your side of the street is clean so you can be on their side of the street. And just keep your inventory clean, man. Keep doing the right thing, and good things will happen. And I don't have really any reading material. I don't really follow anybody on social media that I could really give a huge shout out. If you go through my profile, you will see who's important to me and who has done something different. If you are on my page, if your face is there, you are special to me. And so just do right by your people. Support the people that make it happen. There is no such thing as $1 million sales rep. It takes a whole team to produce that. Mm-hmm. And when you can be firm in belief there, that team will elevate you to the next level. That is for sure. And then I just want to say one thing too. Rick Mandery, my sales manager, he is a damn champion. And I think maybe if I was to give somebody something special, without me shedding a tear on the podcast, it would be that man right now.
Those are the goats, but you can't do it without them.
I couldn't be where I am. I couldn't be where I am today and do what I do here for myself or for my team at NexGen without Rick Mandery.
Let's go.
And Ryan Utch for putting me in this foundation of a place to flourish.
Let's go.
So, man, I appreciate coming on here.
Man.
I'll probably never... I don't know if I'll even give myself a listen. Like you said, we hate watching each other, but I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, dude.
I'm here for you.
I got a couple of things here. I'm going to ask for a favor, but before that, I'm going to say we might have to do another one down the road on just straight door-to-door training, baby. We could do a segment on that. That'd be absolute fire. But I need you to do me a favor. I need you you said you love talking to these people in the local community. You need your own podcast, dude. You need to be that guy that knows everybody, tells everybody's story in there, dude. I feel like you would kill it at that, my man.
Yeah. I've been working on my voiceover a little bit lately. We're coming up with a podcast for NexGen Exteriors, hopefully coming this fall.
So I called it. Look at that. Fortune teller, baby.
We will definitely have in supplier relationships, territory changes, and all sorts of stuff that we can introduce, community events. We're going to try to do more like Romans. We want to be all that, but right now we're not trying to chase all that stuff either. So as this stuff is happening and if we're changing in the world, hopefully we can be more of a part of it like you are today.
Oh, yeah. Think about it. It's like we just met on Facebook. This is how I met some of the greatest people, some of my best friends. Is this, hey, want to hang out for an hour? And then all of a sudden, it's like, dude, that was great. And then it's marketing for everybody. Like it's a collaborative thing. You can't beat it. But hey,
no, you can't beat the collaboration, man.
What about once you guys launch that, we'll come back on. We'll do a special launch of your podcast. We'll do some door-to-door training, so we'll get you back on here because I'm sure everybody will want to tune in. But we'll appreciate you, my man. Good luck out there. If you guys
Hey.
are out in Eau Claire, make sure you guys are checking out NexGen Exteriors and hitting our boy up, Aaron.
Or in Minneapolis. Or in Minneapolis too, brother.
I'm a Wisconsinite, so I've just been focusing on the Eau Claire. I'm like, hey, I remember I used to go out there in college. The Pickle, I think, was the
I
bar.
appreciate it. Hey, we were just
Oh,
there.
were you really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
that was
hilarious.
awesome. I appreciate you,
you, my
man.
man. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Bye.
I don't even know how to shut
Oh,
this
me
thing
either.
down. I gotta go.
That awkward goodbye. All right, now I got it. Later, man.
Later.